gotta put the. You had the intro pulled up. You didn't even use it.
Oh. Oh yeah, we do those before everything.
Yeah.
Hello, this is Vincent Valentine, and welcome to Ultima Final Fantasy, the Ultima Final Fantasy podcast.
Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy Final Fantasy podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Caleb.
And today we're going to be ranking the universes, the main series universes that we finally gotten through after all these years.
Yeah.
And then we're moving on to a sub-series and standalone spin-offs. And
Yeah, Crystal Chronicles is purely standalone spin-off. So
yep.
Doesn't count, I guess.
I guess not.
In this very specific
ranking system. Yeah, I know. I'm ready for it. Anyway, so we're going to be doing that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. But before we get to that, or to news, or reviews, or questions, or anything, Schweiss, where are you in Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles? Where are us?
Yeah, I think we're on, what is it, like day 6?
We are.
Day 6?
We are on day 6. Everything has scaled, and it is very difficult right now.
Yeah, we're having a hard time staying alive.
Day 6 of 8.
Yeah, and because we tried to backtrack to the minecart level in the game for the third time, because you can
carnage.
go. The game's set up in a way where like you're supposed to gather liquid from these trees, and they respawn the liquid every 2 years. And so we've gone to this minecart area 3 times now, and when we went the third time, it was brutal because all of the spells and all of your magic that you only get once per level, and then they're gone. So we don't have life, we don't have cure. Joe and I basically have no way to stay alive in this level. That's very difficult because the game progressively gets harder and harder as you go along. When you go back to those old areas, sometimes I think the new areas we've explored have been easier than that like second mission that we ever took on in the game with the minecart area because of how much it scales once you have gone back multiple times. So we tried to do that near the end of the last stream, and then we weren't able to beat it. We did leave with our. Yeah, we left, right? I don't think we beat the minecart.
No, we didn't. We spent 45 minutes, and then I was in a pretty pissy mood for the next couple hours. It was like, shit. Could have gotten one more level in if we had maybe chosen a different level.
Yeah, we could have. But we didn't, and then after that, we were like, you know what? There's got to be, because Joe has this ring that's like a blizzard ring.
Yeah.
And then the thought was, okay, like, can we get a life ring? Can we get a cure ring? Because the rings, those are actual pieces of equipment, and those stay with you as you progress to new levels.
Oh, explain the spells.
I did. I said that you can only get them.
Oh, okay.
You get them, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
You have to find them in each level. So, like, most of the time we were able to find, like, a cure and a life as we were kind of naturally progressing throughout the level. But this time, they were all damage spells. We didn't find a single healing spell, so we were just
insane.
The game's forgiving, so like if you kill an enemy and then you die to the next enemy, the first enemy you killed will still be dead when you start the area over again. But there are some enemies that just do so much fucking damage. If you mess up at all, it's like you're done. It's like a Dark Souls Final Fantasy at times. I mean, it's really easy.
I think we're just in the wrong place, and because we've done Minecart Carnage twice, I think maybe we have to go do the new area first and then go back to the older areas. And they might just get harder every time you have to retry them.
I'm certain that's what it is. I'm absolutely certain that it just gets more difficult each time because we've seen it happen already multiple times. So that's where we are with that. And we looked it up, and it's funny. We were like, you know what? Let's just see what is next. You know, let's see what we have coming up. Like, where are we going to be able to find these rings? Where are we going to find this this shit that we're needing to stay alive level after level? And the answer is fucking the next level that we should have gone to instead of backtracking to minecart carnage, which is what we did instead.
Well, yeah, we just wanted to fill up the tree juice.
Yeah, because the whole objective of the game is to go back
And we were like,
and
well,
revisit.
but we have, because we did an extra thing, we have opened up the entire world. So we're able to go anywhere. So we might as well just do the new areas, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, and we can go back to those others if we want, because it'll be opened up again, because it's every 2 years, and since we're on year 6.
But we got to get that cure ring and life ring drop.
We need them both. Both of us need them, I think, and then we can just nothing will.
Unless the game is like easy after that, I don't know, but.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is we don't necessarily have to do the minecart one for the 3rd time.
Right.
I kind of want to see what it's like on the 4th. It's just like all of those undead monsters from FF12, like the giant like heads with the claw hands. It's just
the game has in general been pretty easy.
Yeah, it's like really fucking easy.
But all of a sudden we're having trouble with it. It sucks in that way, like in that respect. I don't like having to put my head up against a wall, just
You just want a nice, easy Final Fantasy after the brutality of Type 0 that we experienced.
Well, Type 0 was like a blip in my mind. Remember when I said we had a guest on, and I said I can't remember anything. Type 0 is just whoop. It's just gone into
the ether. A fleeting thought.
It was just 18 hours of my life, just like floating away out in the sky. I remember the gameplay, and I remember the crying kids. That's a good memory to have, to keep with you. I'm kidding. I remember more than that, but it's still like kind of vague. And Type 0 was I remember Vagrant Story a lot more, I guess. Like it's a lot more of a
impact. Yeah, I would agree with that.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind some just like nice easy goings, No say?
Yeah. So unlike our failures in Crystal Chronicles, I actually did this week. I platinumed God of War on
congratulations
Monday, and then I was like, I looked at the Final Fantasy 12 one, and I was like, honestly, this is sad that I don't have this. This is like one of my favorite games. The HD remastered it. I played it immediately upon receiving it, and I don't have all of the trophies yet. I just don't have them. So I finally took the time, and it was a lot of time, to kill every rare game. I had to kill one of every monster in this fucking game, and that's a lot of motherfuckers.
Again.
That's like 3. Yeah, again. I did less this time than I did last time, though. But I did get all my characters to level 99. Times 4 speed, killing those Avasteels. It's beautiful. It's so
Congratulations.
fast. But I got that, and then I took on the final dungeon, and I did one shot using a cheap ass method. There's one of the summons in the game. I think it's Zeromus. Yeah, it is. It's Zeromus. So what I would do is I would summon Zeromus with my level 99 Balthier, and I would throw a bubble mode on him, so like his HP would be doubled. Remember
Right.
bubble? And then I would throw the
necessary spell of the game. Bubble.
Yeah, it's really needed. And then I would throw, it's like Napoleon belt or something. I always call it like the nipple belt. I know that's not what it's called, but it reverses the effects of items.
Nipple belt.
Yeah, so I equip the nipple belt, and then I throw an elixir on him. So instead of maxing out his HP, it brings it all the way down to 1. And then I take control of him, and I cast his ultimate move, and I dealt like 200-something thousand damage to every one of them. And the last stage in the trial mode is all of the judges from the game. And they're like fucking strong. They have a shitload of HP, and they're just sickening amounts of damage. And I tried it naturally, and it was not going to happen. I was like getting absolutely destroyed. I would have had to have gone back and ground out a bunch of probably ribbons, because they were hitting me with status stuff. And the problem with that is the ribbon guy, the first guy that you can steal ribbon from in the trial, is on stage 47. So I'd have to do almost half of the trial mode, steal and get a ribbon, and then quit out and then like try it again. But when I was going through this time to finish it, I stole and I got like an X potion or some bullshit. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to worry about it. just gonna move on. So I did that, and I cast his ultimate move, and then I like replenished Balthier, and then I did it a second time, and it was all over.
Congratulations.
Is it? Yeah, it was beautiful.
Did you get the platinum then?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Look at that! You just platinum another Final Fantasy.
I know.
What's the one that's missing? Is it 13-2 that you haven't platinumed?
No, it's 10-2.
It's 10-2.
I don't have 10-2, 7, 9. I think that's it for the ones that
9's
I've
the
played.
bullshit one, right?
Yeah, 9 is the 1,000 jump rope thing that is. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to do.
No, there's ways apparently to get around that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be like cheat, but I mean, I kind of cheaped at the end of this one too because I was like, super boss, huh? Well,
cheap it, dude.
I'll summon Yojimbo and one shot this piece of shit. That's what I did last time for 10.
It's so nice that on UFF I don't have to deal with people getting all ass hurt about how I play a game. Like, they don't seem to care as much. Except with FF9 when we just kind of sped through it.
That's true. That was a fast one. We only played it for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was 3 weeks, and it's a long game for a 3-week run. Anyway, we got some lackluster news if you want to get to that.
All right, we can take a look.
Yeah. News. Okay, so first up in news, Final Fantasy XIV is apparently going to have a companion app.
Oh, nice.
And it was just announced. It's going to have, chat, inventory, market board. So it's all going to be in a little companion phone app.
So if you ever told yourself, I don't think I spend enough time connected to 14, now you might actually think otherwise. Because this thing's going to be attached to your hip, man.
It's true.
You're going to have your message board, your inventory. I think the inventory thing is pretty cool because I know I am awful at clearing my inventory in that game. Because
inventory in 14 is not great.
The way we play it is we just go. We just fucking do it.
And then we're like, oh shit, my inventory's full.
And then like you watch this big long cutscene, and then like you can't advance because your fucking inventory space is full, and it takes you out of the moment. It takes you out of the immersiveness of the game because like you're like, oh, here is my sword. This is my last dying wish is to give you this. And then, like, it's like inventory full, and then you have to restart the cutscene. So it's like, fuck. Fucking last dying wish, my ass, you're here again.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so now you can just live.
Oh, the thing is, I downloaded some fan apps for 14 when we were playing 14 for the first time. Like,
oh, what? Is that what you were talking about earlier with a map?
Yeah, I had.
Fuck you, man. You were like, what, you don't get the map in this game? I was like, no, I don't understand that. You got this app up that's like easy mode map.
I did it at the beginning when I couldn't figure out how to navigate 14.
Oh yeah, because when you're trying to like open the map pages, you're just like, I don't understand.
14
this.
is a lot easier now on the map side than it used to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know.
Same with 11, by the way. If you have that one program you're not supposed to use with it, but you do it anyway. Spoiler if you. Remember, guys, if you're going to try out FF11, listen to all of our FF11 related episodes. We give you so much help. You have no idea. I wish someone had done it for us. But yeah, I had that. I also had one that was like a companion guide that had the list of missions so that when we were going through it, I could see kind of where we were versus how many weeks we had left and in the time span when we wanted to beat the game. But it's good knowing that Square is finally going to put out an official one. That's nice.
I will say though, with the 11,
I don't know if it'll have the same information, but
with the 11 add-on, we'll call it, that you could get banned for using
if you do certain things in it in a stupid way, I guess. Like you can like auto grind with that app.
Yeah, that they'll kill you for. They'll wipe your account.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that, there is a mission in like. I think it was one of the 3 little mission packs that we did. In the end, there was one that you had to not launch that because it would not drop the cutscene for some reason.
Yep,
like it wouldn't pop. And the really shitty part about that is I forgot on one, and then I think something happened. My game freaked out on the other, so like it was like a 10-minute process because when you log out too quickly or if you exit the game crashes because it crashes when you. Oh, I alt tab. That's what I did. So you can't alt tab and go look at another window.
You can't alt tab on your. You can, but you do have to go into Ff7. Yeah, it's complicated.
You got to go windowed. Yeah, but I wasn't windowed because I never used the original version anymore.
Right.
I used the windowed or windower, which is the beautiful program with the awesome map.
Yes, the map that should be there, regardless.
Yeah, they should just take it and replace it and be like, "This is ours now." There's nothing you could do about it. But I would go in and then like I alt tab because I was like, why is this cutscene not coming? And then I forgot that was a problem, so it froze. And then I had to log in, and it takes like 5 minutes for your character to fully log out when the game crashes. So I did that, and I
can't remember exactly what happened that night, but it was a pain.
Yeah, it was a lot of like stupid little shit that I like. Oh fuck, I forgot the stupid game does this, and like it took forever to do this easy ass mission. So just keep that in mind if you're ever going to play 11.
Read the guide.
There's one. Yeah,
it'll tell you.
It will. The wiki tells all. It's a beautiful place.
All right. Dissidia Final Fantasy NT is adding Academia Fountain Courtyard stage from Type 0.
Looks like the post-apocalyptic version of it too. Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's when it's all crashed or whatever. There's a little video. I didn't actually watch this. 1 minute long. Square Enix, KT. Team Ninja. Any other logos you want to put in here, guys?
Yeah, anyone else work on your shit game?
So this is the reveal trailer.
Got some
yeah, it's after they're attacked at their school.
Cool.
Yeah, so cool.
I wonder when that game's gonna die, and I'll never be able to get the platinum for it.
It already died for me.
You haven't even played it yet.
Oh, I'm talking about Type 0, but okay, yeah.
Oh.
Forgot about Dissidia. Final Fantasy 15 has a new update, 1.24. It's going to add a Ignis outfit, some cookbooks, and other adjustments. The Ignis outfit just...
what the fuck?
I don't know, man. What has he got? Like the long, shaggy hair thing? You said he looked like Noctis.
Yeah, for
a little
one
bit.
of them he does, yeah.
Then he's got that kind of shiny button-up shirt thing that you're always disgusted at when other people wear.
He needs it to be like unbuttoned almost all the way.
Oh yeah,
that's what he needs.
He needs like 3 buttons down, right?
Yeah, like look at Gladiolus.
Gladiolus knows what he's doing.
He needs to do about half that because you don't want to see his flat abs. But Gladiolus is ripped, so you know it's fine to flaunt it.
I have a feeling just because it's Final Fantasy that Ignis is also ripped.
He's probably like really, really fucking ripped. You just don't know because he's always
he's like Jet or Bruce Lee ripped.
Yeah,
he's like really skinny, but he's like, holy fuck.
Probably.
I bet. I wonder. Have we seen a shirtless Prompto?
No.
Do you think that they would go all the way to add like little flabby skin? Like
because he used to be.
He's one of those like buff guys that used to be really fat and like they just have like skin hanging out.
Maybe, yeah.
You think they would? You think they would go all the way with that, even though he lost the weight when he was a kid?
Maybe not, because if you lose it when you're younger, your skin's got enough elasticity to kind of bounce back.
I'm just wondering.
That would be hilarious. He just tucks it under his belt, so he gets rid of it.
Yep, 2 new cookbooks, adjustment of loading screen tips,
okay,
and various bug fixes. Have they fixed the Adamantoise fight? Can anybody update on that shit?
Last I heard was no, but that was a little while ago.
FF15 Pocket Edition got a release date, and I believe it's already available. June 6th was the release of that.
June 7th.
June 7th? Okay. Mod Organizer, the official tool, was released June 7th, but I think the Pocket version PC, so the one where they look like Chibi, that was released on June 6th. Brave Exvius is getting a Just Cause crossover.
Necessary.
It's totally necessary. And then I believe the biggest news, right? The biggest news of E3. Schweiss, Final Fantasy 14 and Monster Hunter. They're coming together. They're having a collaboration.
It's a very obvious collaboration.
Do you want to watch
but...
this video? I haven't actually seen this.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay.
It's a minute long. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, we could do this.
All right, so we got a dude. Looks like Monster Hunter dude. Or it could be 14. I don't fucking know. Got some sort of...
Something's going on in the sky.
Some event. Big meteors coming down, crashing into some crystals. This is probably a team. Some explosion. No.
Yeah.
Behemoth. Holding a corpse of something. Cool.
So Final Fantasy 14 monsters are going to be in Monster Hunter World.
And then there's also going to be a Monster Hunter World loot thing for Final Fantasy 14. So it's a nice little special raid, kind of like what we had with 11. That one was a lot of fun when we did it. I enjoyed that a lot. Because we got that old like classic victory music that we were disgusted by.
That, yeah.
Yeah, it's like nothing else in this game sounds like this. It's like
nothing else in the series sounds like that, Schweiss. It's fucking terrible. It's still terrible. It never became good, Schweiss. I've listened to that thing a bajillion times. Of course, we've had the fucking stream going, right, in the middle of episodes, so our audience has heard it multiple times.
Yeah.
It's never, ever been a good-sounding victory, yay kind of sound. It's been like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
There were missions that we did where we were like, I think it was when we were doing that corn thing to get our trust or something. It was some weird stat up, and we were just buying corn and giving it away or some shit. And like every time we did it, it would do that sound. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And that's when it became all Stockholmy, and I was like, man, this is a great sound.
Stockholmy.
It's great, but it's terrible. It's like The Room. It's just so bad. You love it.
Oh, man. All right, so as you guys probably know, the actual biggest news that was Final Fantasy related, I heard some, was it Abrac on Twitter was talking about people bitching about Final Fantasy not having very much news for E3.
Somebody was.
And that might actually be on our forum. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't pull that up for our questions this week. But apparently a lot of Final Fantasy fans on Reddit were really pissed off that there was no big Final Fantasy news for E3. Did we call that, Schweiss? Did we say that it wasn't going to be?
I feel like we might have. I feel like I've known that it wasn't going to be that. There wasn't going to be very much there. I mean, honestly, guys, you got to look at it from... This is something that Stolas brought up to me when I was streaming the other day. Like, look at how long it takes these guys to make these games. Look at how long the release times have been, how long the development times have been since Final Fantasy 11, basically. 12 was like 6 years of development time. 13 took a long time. 15, we all know, took forever. So it's going to be some time before we get a big Final Fantasy 16 announcement. I mean, if you expected that, it's kind of crazy. I mean, they didn't have anything on FF7, but we know they're not very far along in FF7. They had an outside company that was working on it for a little while. They basically scrapped all of that, and they're like redoing.
Yeah, they said they were further along than planning stages, though. They said they were actually in the middle of making the game.
Yeah, but they had that other company working on it, and they said no.
Yeah.
They like pulled it from them.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it won't be something like what we found out with that one
Fortress,
Fortress, where like, oh yeah, they just stopped paying us one day, and we kept working on it, but then they were just like, yeah, fuck you, and then took everything. They fucking sent the Yakuza over, and they took all the shit that they had built. But I mean, you gotta look at it from the perspective of the series. I mean, they don't have a whole lot of Final Fantasies. We don't have as many Final Fantasy knockoffs coming out now as we used to either, because when we look at like our backlog of what we have left and for Ultima, there are a lot of little
series. It's like a 10-year
series.
Span though where all that shit came out.
Yeah, it was like
they are slowing down.
It was big. It was a
Except
lot of
for mobiles.
stuff. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff in not a lot of time. I mean, Crystal Chronicles is GameCube era, so we're talking like Final Fantasy X.
It's GameCube to early Wii, so it's like
Final Fantasy X to pre-Final Fantasy 13. There's a shitload of Final Fantasy coming out on GameCube, coming out on the Wii, coming out on the fucking DS, on the Game Boy Advance.
I want to say it slowed down after Lightning Returns. Like pretty much when we started the show, there's been 3 major spin-off titles. So Lightning Returns, Type 0, and World of Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all we've had in the last.
Curtain Call, I guess.
Yeah.
So 4.
But like it's been real light compared to what it was in the past years. And I think I don't know, part of it's because I think they're protecting their brand a little more.
That's pretty much one a year, and then we had a major Final Fantasy. So that's not bad. That's not bad for what it was before. Like the 10 years before that or 15 years before that. After FF10-2, it just like went fucking crazy.
Yeah, because they started doing the 7 stuff. They started doing.
So as a stockholder, of course, I do like them kind of reeling in the thing and kind of keeping the brand a little bit more sacred.
I mean, of course, I consider Monster of the Deep a big release, but based on how many people have played it, according to the website I use for trophies, I don't know about that. It's pretty small.
Anyway, so the biggest actual Final Fantasy related news at E3 was Kingdom Hearts 3's release date. Or release month, right? Do we have an exact date yet?
No, yeah, I think it was January 29th. Is what I'm pretty sure what it was.
Okay, so January 2019, which was not a big surprise. I guess they were going to say it was 2018, and then they pushed it. Didn't surprise me at all. Saw some salts on the old Twitter about that. Think that's a little ridiculous, but
giving people shit.
I mean,
you have no idea.
It's not ridiculous to have a release date announcement and then push it for 2 months, like right before that, and be kind of like mad as a fan. But maybe when you're months away, having a small delay like that, I don't think is a big deal. Personally, I don't know what you think about that.
I knew it was not coming out this year, so
Come on.
It doesn't matter.
mean, like it's Square Enix. What are we stupid?
And they hadn't
here?
said it was going to come out in E3. No.
So the big Nomura had a interview with The Verge, and a lot of people are pulling quotes from here. We got this one from Silicon Era that has some highlights from the interview with the Verge. It's 2 parts that I kind of want to quote here. One was why it was delayed from 2018 to January 2019. By the way, 2018 question mark to to an actual date in 2019.
Yeah, it just said 2018. It's not like 15 where they were like it's coming out on September 30th. No, just kidding. It's coming out in November.
Yeah.
Which I was glad for at the time, to be honest.
So here's Nomura talking about that. We were told by many people, including hardware manufacturers, sales teams, marketing teams, that it just wasn't good timing for the year. For Kingdom Hearts 3, the Western offices requested to release the game as simultaneously as possible between Japan and America. So we no longer were able to just think about Japanese issues and retail situations. When we looked towards that, we were told that the best timing after all of that would be the tail end of January. We, of course, considered maybe speeding up the development to release earlier. Then we were told that it wasn't good. But the development team said, no, we can't do that. We could delay it, but we can't make it any sooner. If we are to also potentially delay the release date, then we could have the extra time to work on the game a little more. It's kind of just all worked together for us to decide on this date. Biggest non-surprise in the world for me.
Yeah.
No shit. January is an odd time to buy a game, though. Don't you think?
Kinda, yeah. Like February is usually when they start.
Well, because I mean,
out.
I think January in general for like all toy markets, most retail markets, January is a bad time because people have just depleted their funds for Christmas.
Yeah.
So January is an odd time.
Although, I mean, most people that do that don't have funds, so, I mean, they don't care. So they'll buy the game.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They'll be like, I'll just put it on the card.
Oh, okay.
This is what I'll probably do. But I'll pay it, see. Yeah, so it is an odd time. It's an odd time for a lot of entertainment, to be honest. Like, having something come out then is weird.
Yeah.
And like when you have a really good movie.
Red Letter Media has a thing that's called "Fuck You." It's January. It's like the movies that come out in January are always shit.
Yeah. Like, and then I hear like movies like the Liam Neeson Wolf movie. Like all I heard was like, this is way better than any like February or January movie should be. I was like, that's kind of sad. That's the thing. It's like, wow, that was really good for January.
Well, I mean, that's why Avatar was like so big and stayed in the theater for 6 months, as opposed to like Avengers, which was almost as big, and yet it's not going to be in the theaters for nearly as long.
Yeah, because they got another one coming out.
It's because Avatar comes out Christmas, and the Hollywood does not put out anything in January or February that they aren't just like dumping. They're pretty much like the projects that Hollywood studios put out in January through early March are basically just the projects that they've given up on.
Well, yeah, it's like my kid knows, or like it's the son of one of my employees that like just kept nagging me to put this movie out. And I was like, fine,
because they got award season
put it
before
out in
then.
January.
They got award season before then, and that's always a big time for the movies. And then of course the summer movie season is always the biggest.
Yeah.
So it's like that time is when they're like, oh, the Hitman's Bodyguard, let's put that out, right?
Yeah.
And then it'll be number one for 3 weeks because there's just no competition and shit like that. So it's funny to me.
Yeah. It's funny when like now we have Marvel that just does it and they destroy.
That's true. Yeah. They're Disney, since Alice in Wonderland's been kind of mixing it up. 300 was a spring movie as well. It had the record for a spring movie for a long time.
I saw it. I thought it was awesome.
I think it's okay.
Sadly, it's one of his better works, though. I mean, I think we talked about that before, but isn't that kind of sad? That's like top 3 for me, anyway.
I think Watchmen's a 5-star movie, frankly.
I've never watched it, so.
Oh, you never saw the best Zack Snyder movie?
No.
Watchmen. Dawn of the Dead can go fuck itself. I don't think that's a very good movie at all, but whatever.
I think it's awesome. But I watched the OG Dawn of the Dead, and it's like 1,000 times better. It's really good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the ultimate old school zombie movie.
I need to see that one.
And you know what? Day of the Dead, fucking cheesy and ridiculous because like one of the zombies they get him to be semi-sentient again, but it's still fucking awesome. What? Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I'll be honest. I've only seen Night of the Living Dead. And I've seen that one multiple times.
You gotta watch the sequels, man.
And then I've seen, the fucking
remake.
Zack Snyder remake of Dawn of the Dead, and I Am Legend, and Last Man on Earth, the other I Am Legend, the old one with Vincent Price.
Was it zombies in that one too?
It was vampires.
Oh, 'cause that's what it is in the book. It's vampires.
It's a vampire, yeah.
And they're kind of vampire-ish in the movie, too, in I Am Legend, because they only come out at night.
Yeah,
but they're a lot more zombified.
I don't think either of the adaptations apparently follow the book, but I never read the book.
It's really awesome.
I'm not a big zombie guy. I'm not, like, going out of my way to watch, them kind of hobble towards you or run at you CGI face. I'm not into either of that thing, so... I do love Night of the Living Dead, though. I think that movie's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of January, though.
Speaking of zombies.
Odd time for me. I don't know. They've been putting out those Final Fantasies in March. They've done that, or at least with the 13 they did that. And then another big one, I want to say they did March, too. I can't remember now. But yeah, January to me is actually odd. I wouldn't be surprised if they push it again, by the way. Like they go, well, we talked to them in January. It turns out to be a shit time.
I don't know. I think they'll probably keep January.
Okay, all right.
I don't know though.
After that Final Fantasy 15 fiasco,
can we ever trust?
Them?
Yeah. Once you delay,
would the game have been bigger?
All I'm gonna think about is how you delayed that one time, and I could never trust you.
How do you think that? How much do you think that move affected sales for FF15?
I don't think it affected it that much.
You don't think so?
I think the hype it died off a little bit because they made this huge. They had this massive unveiling of Final Fantasy 15. I mean, we got a movie, we got a bunch of mobile games, we got a bunch of little shit leading up to 15. All of this was meant to like be the building blocks for this multimedia release, and then they fucking delay the game.
Yeah.
And like the movie was supposed to be, we were supposed to get the movie, and then it was the game like not that long after, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
then we just didn't get the game. So I think it definitely affected it, but I think most of the people who were going to buy it bought it anyway.
Yeah,
because it was a pretty big game. I mean, it sold a lot of copies.
It sold a lot. It was like over 8 million. I don't know where we're at now.
Which is pretty.
It's still on game shelves.
Which is pretty fucking insane, to be honest. Like,
oh, and I have heard, by the way, on non-gaming related podcasts, I've heard a couple. I think it was like Bret Easton Ellis's young boyfriend. Is apparently. I don't think he was a big Final Fantasy fan, but he was talking about storytelling in video games. And he was like, well, my 26-year-old boyfriend, of course, Bret Easton Ellis is, I think, almost 50.
Half plus 12.
He was like, he was talking about how, this supreme storytelling in Final Fantasy 15. And all I was thinking was like, that means his boyfriend never played any of the other Final Fantasy games, has found this Final Fantasy to be like an amazing story.
Yeah.
And I do think it's a very good story, unlike a lot of our listeners. But I'm thinking just off of that, and I want to say I heard one other reference because I just listen to fucking podcasts all day to Final Fantasy 15 as being like a big storytelling game. I do think it's actually leaving its mark in that respect. I believe it is kind of reaching a new audience of people.
Yeah. I mean, it is a lot more westernized. I think a lot of the things that keep people back from some of these JRPGs is the Japanese element, is like the turn-based system. Like, it's kind of archaic.
The four dudes are very still in that Japanese fashion man kind of way, but
yeah, but it's the gameplay itself, the open world. That's kind of a more Western thing.
Yeah, it keeps people in. And I remember when we interviewed at least two people on the opening night when the weather was the worst ever.
Yeah.
I remember those people being new to this series. Totally, they just wanted this game.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the 15th game in the series.
It's good for the longevity of the series. We'll see how it kind of goes from here. There was another quote by Nomura on this interview that I thought was ridiculous, so I just want to point it out. Nomura talks about developing both FF7 and Kingdom Hearts in parallel. So Nomura says, we are developing FF7 in parallel, and it's not just in early concept stages. We are actually in development. So right now, it's like I've been putting in 100% into Kingdom Hearts, 100% into Final Fantasy VII, 100% into Kingdom Hearts. Just going back and forth. It's just like working on two titles is just going to be one after Kingdom Hearts launch. That's pretty much how I see it. Schweiss, is it possible to put 100% of your energy into two giant projects?
Well, I think what he's saying is he's putting 100% into Kingdom Hearts, and then he's like, okay, now I need to work on Final Fantasy. All right, now I need to work on Kingdom Hearts. So he's like not focusing on one thing, which is a problem this man has had multiple times.
Why are they giving him two?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, to be honest. Like, I think it's kind of crazy to be like, oh yeah, we have our two biggest IPs. We want you to do both. Okay, now we want you to work on Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay, just kidding. We're going to have you work on an FF7 remake.
No,
we're going to jack off the fans.
FF15 to Kingdom Hearts 3 to FF7.
Like, why can't you do both? I think it's kind of ridiculous to expect the man to handle both, but it's also not fair to have anybody else.
He could be putting it on himself. I don't know.
It's not fair to have anybody else there work on FF7 either, to be honest. Tabata FF7?
No,
That'd be terrible. Are you kidding me?
Kitase still works there.
Yeah,
he was the director of of FF7. Why isn't he the director of the FF7 remake? You know?
I don't know. He doesn't. He's above that now. He doesn't.
I guess,
he doesn't get his hands dirty.
Like, I don't want to get in the trenches anymore. I'm a producer now. Just gotta oversee the bigger aspects.
Nomura had a lot of influence on 7 though. So
yeah, it's still a Kitase game. We can keep saying Nomura. I mean, he obviously was the big artist, and he had some influence in the story department. But in terms of how that game kind of told the story and the overall thing, it's going through Kitase and Sakaguchi more than anything.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the cool stuff with the Cloud, though, was all Nomura.
Yeah, I think what was it, the Detective Joe thing? Was it Nomura that got rid of it?
I think so.
Something like that.
Thank God. That sounds ridiculous.
Well, it's just part of development. But I don't know. Kitase also did 8, and didn't he co-direct 9 or 6? Why on earth wouldn't Kitase do another one? Or why on earth wouldn't they? Well, maybe they did. Maybe they did go to Kitase, and then maybe he didn't want to direct. Maybe he just wanted to produce. I also don't know in that company what the distinction is between producer and director. And I would like to know that someday if someone could tell me. Like, what does a producer do on a video game in Japan?
Yeah, versus what the director's
what the director does.
I mean, obviously the director is the one that's like given all the credit for everything that happens.
He is, but I do wonder if that's just because in the movie world that we're so used to, the director is kind of the king or has been the king for the last 60 years. And so we're always told, ooh, it's a Steven Spielberg film. So we all give all the credit to Steven Spielberg.
Even though he just produced it. Yeah.
But then sometimes Steven Spielberg will produce a movie and we'll still just give all the credit to Steven Spielberg, but it's really like J.J. Abrams or something like that. With Super 8. I'm thinking like a lot of people are like, isn't that a Steven Spielberg movie? No, it's actually
did you
not.
see the lens flare? Spielberg doesn't care about that. All right, now I'm going to blind the audience. There it is. Now we're going to do the cool shot.
So I wonder where the credit lies in that. I just wonder. I have no idea. Anyway, let's do some more ranking, Schweiss. This is our favorite thing to do on this show.
It is.
All right, Schweiss. So I've been having trouble coming up with a name for this concept. But as we know, there's the Final Fantasy series. And within that series, there are a bunch of different universes. At least we think so.
Yeah.
Some of them may or may not be kind of connected. Final Fantasy IV seems to take place on like Earth, and also Spirits Within takes place on Earth. So perhaps that's all part of the same series. Don't know yet. Not official,
Yeah.
And then of course the kind of tepid connection between FF7 and FF10. That's there too, but I think we can safely ignore at least that one.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, that one won't count. But we are going to be pitting. We're not gonna pit any of the games up against these that are just standalone games, just to make this a little bit more simple.
All right.
So, what games in the series have sequels? So these microverses within the Final Fantasy universes, like the ones that have multiple games. So FF4 obviously has Interlude, and then
After Years.
After Years, that's right. And then FF7, of course. What's the compilation of Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah.
And then we got 8 didn't have anything, 9 didn't have anything, 10 is got a lot of stuff. FF10.
Yeah, the 10 verse.
10 verse. Spira something. Spira compilation. I don't know. Is there an official title for that?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think it has one.
Okay.
It's not like Ivelisse Alliance or anything like that.
No, it's not like that. Speaking of which, I believe that's the next one is Ivelisse Alliance.
I mean, unless you want to have FF11 as its own thing.
I think that's just one story, though. I think that's just one thing. They're just adding to it. It's not a separate story, like its own separate release.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they do have their own separate story arcs and like. But it is the same world, so
Yeah.
it's like including FF1 almost.
It's the same character, too, going through, and it's not a sequel. It's just it's an expansion. Should we count expansions?
I don't know, because it's kind of tough because it is kind of like a sequel because you have the OG game and then you have the next part of it, which is, the Rhapsodies, or not Rhapsodies of Vana'diel, the Seekers of Adulan.
Rise of the Xylart.
Yeah, you have that next, and then you have the next one, and it's almost sequel-esque. So I don't know. I think we
But then it's the same game still, though.
Yeah.
The gameplay hasn't changed, and I feel like gameplay is going to be a big part of how we're going to rank these series up against each other.
Yeah, I think we can leave it out.
Okay, let's leave it out. Ivelisse Alliance, of course, is next. FF12, the Tactics series. Revenant Wings, of course, the classic.
Of course.
Then we have Fabula Nova Crystallis, which I'll just call Fabulous and spell it wrong. So Fabulous is next, and that's the FF13 games plus Type 0 and what used to be Final Fantasy 15, but is now no longer. 14 doesn't have anything besides expansions, right?
Yeah, not really. It's all the same thing.
All right. I'm just making sure. And then FF15 verse already. They haven't there was a FF15 verse before the game even came out. There was multiple things. But yeah, okay. So one
thing I'll say though, real quick.
Yeah.
I feel like Lightning Returns belongs with FF4 because of
because it's Earth.
Yeah, because it's Earth at the end.
Oh, spoilers to the end of Lightning Returns.
Yeah, if you haven't played it, now it's ruined. It's
the dumbest twist in the entire series.
It's really shitty. Yes.
Well, FF4 had that same twist. If you remember, it was like the moon went away, and it's Earth.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but no.
But it's an older game, and you could kind of forgive it for its kind of.
Shittiness,
amateurity, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Lightning Returns is not great story-wise the whole time, though, and then the ending is really dumb. So it hurts.
So I've got 6 series here. The FF4 verse. Do we include spirits with it?
Yeah, fuck it. You know what? Let's do the FF5 verse, too, because we got the game and we got that movie.
Oh, but that's not canon.
Oh, is it really not?
It's really... Wait. I don't think it is, no. I don't think it is canon, man.
I don't know. I know the one for 7 wasn't. The Last Order wasn't canon.
Fuck it. FF5. Now, oh, shit. Final Fantasy 5... Is it Legend of the Crystals?
I think so.
Okay.
It's something like that.
I'll find it out before this episode is over. All right, fine. FF5 verse, FF7 verse, FF10 verse, Ivelisse Alliance. I like it when we have a official title for these things.
Yeah.
Fabula Nova Crystallis, and the FF15 verse. So that's actually 7 universes we have to pit up against each other. I have in my mind come up with a scoring system.
Okay.
And you can choose whether or not this factors into your thing. So I'm thinking about going through each of these games in each of these series and kind of giving them a number and then averaging.
Are you giving them
number.
are we giving them a letter grade?
I'm going to give them a grade. So
we've never done this before. It's always been which game is better than the other. Now the people are going to be like, "Oh my god, they hate these games."
So I'm gonna give it a 1 to 3 score each of these games.
I was going to do 1 to 10.
It's going to be lower tier, mid tier, high tier. Right? High tier is kind of sacred cow. Mid tier is like, it's got some good stuff in it, and then low tier is skip the game. Not saying it's a terrible game, but skip the game.
I'm glad you're not going. I kind of want to go 1 through 10, but I kind of don't because
I
don't want to hear about it.
So, yeah, you don't want to put scores out. You don't want to nude clan this up.
I don't think they want to know that the truth of the situation.
All right. So I got the Ff7 Universe interlude, and then After Years. 4 years of my life spent on these fucking games, by the way, and Spirits Within.
Okay.
Do you want to do my scoring system? Because you can rank these how you want. Okay.
I like it.
So I'm gonna do a Joe column. I'm gonna do a Caleb column. Usually do Schweiss, but other Caleb's not here.
Yeah.
Okay. Ff7. I believe this is a top tier game.
Yeah, I give it a 3.
I'm gonna give it a 3 as well. Interlude, I think it's lower tier. You could skip it just because it's too short. Personally, I'm gonna give it a 1.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1.
You'll give it a 1 as well. Okay. I'm gonna let you score After Years.
After Years, I'm going to give it a 2, but I still think you should really play it because there's some really awesome shit in After Years.
Mid-tier, I'm going to give it a 2 as well. Spirits Within,
2.
You know what? I'm giving it a 2.
It's not perfect. It's not terrible. I think that's fair. So we both matched.
We both gave it the same score. Shit, now I got to get
That's
the
an average of
calculator
2.
out. It's an average of 2?
Yeah.
You're sure?
Yeah, because it's 8 divided by 4.
Fuck you. All right, fine. So we have both scored the Final Fantasy IV Universe a 2. A 2 out of 3. All right. So then we're on Ff7.
Don't skip Ff7.
Ff7 verse. Okay. We got Ff7, and then we got Legend of the Crystals. Schweiss. I'm going to give Ff7 a 3. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'll give it the same.
Okay. What about Legend of the Crystals?
I'm going to give it a 1.
Okay, you're going to give it a 1.
I know I liked it more than that at the time, but if I'm actually going to pit it up against and consider whether or not it's better than or as good as Spirits Within, if it's in the same realm, I don't think it is. I think it's kind of campy. I did dig it when I watched it, though. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I don't know. I don't think it's quite as good.
All right. Okay. So what's the next one? Is it Ff7?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is where it's going to get, controversial, I think. Are we counting the short movie, too? That's definitely not canon, though.
Yeah, the one where they show Zack dying.
Yeah.
That's not canon, no. That doesn't... Should we just count the canon universe? Because if that's the case, then we have to do Advent Children complete.
Yeah, I know. It's tough,
Because we did put the Legend of the Crystal movie in.
Okay. So we got...
Let's put the non-canon 7 thing in. Because Legend of the Crystal, you said, might not be canon either. And it doesn't matter if it is or not. So I say we just fucking throw it in there.
Okay.
Because they made it. They made it happen. So
that one's before Crisis?
No, it's Last Order.
Last Order. Thank you. Before Crisis is the mobile game. We don't count those. Okay.
Yeah.
They may count it, but fuck it. We're not going to count it. So I got Ff7, Crisis Core, Advent Children Complete, Last Order. Do you want to also put Advent Children? Because it's not canon.
Yeah, let's put it.
Okay.
It's
Advent
going to be
Children.
a 7,000 list.
Yeah, it will be a long one.
And then we also have to have Dirge.
Remember
Dirge.
Dirge of Shipperus. Cerberus.
All right.
And then we got the On the Way to a Smile series.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then the Turks.
And then Turks, Kids Are Alright.
Oh man.
I think that's all of them. Can you think of another one?
No.
Okay.
Not now.
All right. Schweiss, I think this is... I would give it a 3.5 if I could. I think Ff7 is definitely top tier.
Yeah.
You concur? Okay.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3. I would say Crisis Core, I think it's a solid 2.
I think so too. I think some people would give it a 3, but I'm kind of on the 2. I'm on the 2 train with Crisis Core. I think it's mid-tier.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of really garbage endgame content in the game, so there's not a whole lot driving you to come back necessarily. The story is interesting, but the storytelling in it it's not really my favorite. And the battle system is fun until you realize you're just mashing X the whole time. Like it's a really simplified version of games that we've gotten after that are better, I would say. Like, I would say Type Zero's gameplay is better than Crisis Core's. And it's very similar. It's a PSP. You can only do so much with this fucking console video game, and it gets old.
Music's great.
Music's amazing, yeah.
Some good cutscenes in there, definitely.
But I don't think it's top tier. I think top tier is reserved for great games, and it's a good game.
Advent Children complete, I'm giving a 1.
Yeah, it's a 1.
Those extra scenes added there, it bogs down the movie, and so
it pretends like it's a drama. It's kind of what it does. It like builds, and it's not ever meant.
There's no movie should ever have that many prologues.
Yeah,
the only one that ever beat it was FF15's Kingslave. That might have more prologues than Advent Children complete.
Yeah, and it's a fight for which one's the worst
I
movie.
think we already ranked them, but we'll have to go back and see what our old.
I honestly don't remember which one I hated more.
Kingslave, I think, is the worst movie of all of them.
Even more than Complete?
I don't remember if we ranked Complete. We might have just ranked regular Advent Children, but
I don't know. Complete was pretty miserable.
Oh, fuck. It was so bad. Last Order. I thought that was pretty fucking good. I'm kind of teetering between a 2 and a 3 here.
I'm going to give it a 2.
You're going to give it a 2.
Yeah, it kind of retcons a few things, so it's not as appreciated as it could be. But, I mean, they keep retconning that whole event anyway,
yeah,
so
true.
It's like...
They're going to do it again, too.
I'm sure they are, yeah. I'm sure it's going to be... Remake. Now it's going to be Cloud that killed him. Cloud shot first,
Cloud shot first?
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. But.
Cloud stabbed first.
That's right.
Okay, I'm giving Last Order a 2 as well. It's a tough one, kind of teetering back and forth.
It was pretty good, though, and it was good because it was nice and short, and it was well made, and it was well animated, and it had like this dark tone to it. It was good.
I dug it.
It was good.
Okay,
not canon, but
Advent Children, I'm giving a 2. I think it's mid tier. I think it's okay. Definitely some good stuff in there. Definitely some stupid stuff in there, but it does clip along at a good pace since it only has one prologue.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Advent Children a 2 as well. I think it's a pretty fucking fun movie.
Yeah,
it's really action packed and it's not bad. There's some great stuff in there too. Like Reno and Root are awesome characters, perfectly done. There's a lot of good stuff.
But then there's also the part where she's like screaming that he's a sexist.
Yeah,
and
there's some weird
then
shit.
Red 13's voice can go to hell. Red 13 just shouldn't talk.
Yeah.
If that's the voice we're going to pick for him.
Yeah.
Dirge of Cerberus, I'm giving a low tier score. I'm giving that a 1.
I would give it a 0 if I could, but I'll give it a 1. Yeah. It's honestly, I was amazed that I had put as much time into that back in the day. I was like, what the fuck was I doing with my life? Like, Jesus Christ. I was playing that for that many hours. I did every optional mission. There's like 80 of them. I did them all. All of them, man. All of them. And I was proud of it. I was like...
You got all the pills.
I was like whipping my dirge dick out and showing Jake, like, look, I beat this level. And like when I finally figured out how to beat the level, I like got on my bike and ran over there and I was like, dude, you gotta do this. You gotta like jump up on the fucking bus and then wait for the enemies to dissipate and then jump down and like fuck one of them up and then jump back on the bus. It's the only way to beat Kate Sith versus the world. And I went back and I was like, holy shit, this is... Good God, like the controls, the way it flows, like the targeting is so fucking bad. Like it auto pulls to people that you cannot shoot because they're like in a fucking doorway. The story is nonsensical. The voice acting is, dude, it's like all around 1. It's not good.
On the Way to a Smile.
See, this one,
This one's tough. I'd give it like a 1.5.
I'm going to give it a solid 2.
You're gonna give it a 2.
Yeah, I think the Denzel one was actually pretty good. The one that we watched.
Yeah, the one with the video.
And the stories themselves, we learned a lot about Final Fantasy VII's universe from that, which kind of says a lot about the game that the game didn't really explain. But that's kind of what we like about some of these Final Fantasies, like with 15 and like some of the shit that's not really that they don't dive deep into while we're playing the game. Like, it's kind of fun. It kind of adds this mysticism. That's why both of us don't feel like the Solo movie was needed, because Han Solo was just this mysterious rogue character, and that's what was awesome about him. Is like, you don't really know anything about his past. That's what makes him so cool, because of the mysticism, the shrouding that shrouds his character. But now it's all just thrown out there. And Emilia Clarke and morbidly obese Darth Maul, and we know it all.
You just spilled it for those people who had 4 weeks to watch Solo.
Yeah, if you didn't
episode.
watch it, you're not
I
gonna.
called him Jabba the Maul.
Yeah, you laugh when people get fat, dude. When people lose their fucking legs,
Well, he's not fat. He was so fit in the original one that looking at him now is like a normal man's,
he just looks
fat content. He looks chubby in comparison to what we saw.
Yeah, I was really laughing at that. I was like, what the fuck happened
is
to
it
him?
because I told you beforehand, right?
Yeah, no, you didn't.
Oh, I didn't?
No,
I told
no,
you
you-
someone got fat, though, didn't I?
You might have, yeah.
Okay.
You might have.
I think I did, because then you were talking. I can't remember.
You can tell though. He looks like a fat bastard, and I'm like, and you know what? I will say he literally does not have a fucking. Oh shit! What's the thing that, like, when you have an issue with it, you tend to
Thyroid
get. Yeah, he
problem?
doesn't have a thyroid anymore. So I mean, he's got a real fucking thyroid problem going on. Also, I was thinking about this. I was like, Obi-Wan cannot kill someone to save his fucking life. Like, he cuts that guy in half and he lives. He literally cuts off every limb that Anakin ever had, and he lives. Like, the man is just, he's a sadist. He likes to cleave.
Well, that lightsaber sometimes solders and sometimes doesn't.
I guess that's true, yeah. Maul, it soldered.
Yeah, I
Anakin,
guess
it
it
soldered.
him.
But it's other people, yeah, they just die. Well, if you cut their head off, I mean, it's soldered or no, it's pretty much over. But yeah, I was dying at that, but doesn't need to be there. And I kind of feel like
I
that
liked
for-
Emilia Clarke in that movie.
Yeah.
I liked her in that movie. I liked the what's his name, Adelson? I can't remember his name. The guy who played Han Solo. I thought he did pretty good. Yeah, that movie is fucking. Third act, I feel like, just like falls apart. It's like maybe 3 too many twists. And then like the whole movie, it's just too dark. Shitty looking. I don't know what that is.
I thought it was good. I liked it.
You liked it?
I'd give it probably a 3-star. Yeah,
Really?
it's about as
I
good
mean,
as.
I liked it. I was just kind of like shrugging. Like, I liked it. And it was pretty forgettable. Unlike Last Jedi, which is not forgettable. And I liked it, but then I'm now hating it because it's just like grown on me, just clawed into me. I would say like I like Solo more than Last Jedi though, just by like a small margin.
Yeah, I'd probably.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah. Like I enjoyed my time, but it didn't really stick to my ribs.
It wasn't 2.5 hours long either, so.
I think it was like 2.5 hours long.
Oh, was it that
Yeah,
long?
it was
It didn't
pretty long
seem
movie.
nearly as long as.
Did it seem as long?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe the pacing was different, but.
Yeah. Well, it had a pretty regular 3-act structure. Okay. You have convinced me to put On the Way to a Smile as a 2. I'm going to give some of it up to maybe some translating problems. The one that makes me want to knock it down to a 1 is the Rufus Shinra twist,
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
which is really stupid, but there is another piece of Final Fantasy VII media that also retcons the retcon of Rufus Shinra surviving, and that is Turks. The kids are all right. Even if it was a well translated polished work
It'd
would
be boring.
have a shit story. So I am putting Turks the Kids All Right. I'm giving it a solid 1.
This is another one that I would give a 0 if that were part of our board of numbers.
You
but
could put a 0. I'm not going to stop you.
I'll give it a 1.
I'll give it a 1. Okay.
It's pretty not great, though. I think we had the same exact thing.
Oh my
again.
God, did we have the same score? We're not allowed to have the same score.
14
again.
for each of us.
14 total?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna save the unless someone's like counting along. I'm gonna save the other score. Shit, where the fuck is my calculator thing? There it is. 14. Okay, well that was a surprise. Okay, the next universe is FF10, right?
Yeah.
So FF10 has FF10 last mission. FF10 2. Unless you want to count the books that we haven't read.
Yeah, we can't exactly count those.
I can give it my score for reading that first chapter.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So Will and 2.5. So those are all the same. Or it's 2.5. I'm just going to put 2.5 plus. Okay. So I'm going to give FF10 a 3. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Last mission, I'm going to give it a 2. I think it's kind of mid-tier. I had fun. It's not great, but I had fun doing it. So it's all right for me.
Yeah, I'll give that and 10-2 a 2.
You're going to give 10-2 a 2?
Yeah, for as much shit as we give it, it is a fun game to play.
I hate the story so much, I'm going to give it a 1. And that first chapter of Final Fantasy X 2.5, I'm also going to give a 1.
Yeah, it's a 1.
I think it's a terrible piece of shit.
So we've got 8
Okay,
and 7.
8 and 7.
So 15 with the 4.
Okay, now we got our second averages here. All right. And then what was the next? It was, oh, see, now this is interesting. Ivelisse Alliance. Okay. FF12.
Yeah, it's okay.
Then we got Tactics.
Tactics Advance, Tactics A2.
Tactics A2. Revenant Wings.
Revenant Wings, and then we have fucking Vagrant Story.
Vagrant Story. Okay.
And that is it, I believe. Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay. FF12, giving that a 3.
Yeah,
Top
that's
tier
great.
game. Tactics. You can score first.
I'm giving it a 3.
You're giving it a 3.
Yeah, I think it's better than at least 6 of the mainline Final Fantasy games. It's at least in the middle.
I'm giving it a 2.
It's fucking slow.
Still
and
really
brutal.
fucking slow.
You still applying your ass cream after the monks visited?
Fucking hate. I'm never revisiting that game, by the way. It's done. I had my tactic experience, and I'm good. I don't think it's the best Final Fantasy like some people do. I don't even think it's close. It had really good things about it, but I actually think its gameplay was vastly improved in its sequels.
I agree.
The sequels, by the way, Tactics Advance, story's fucking stupid, but gameplay's fun. I'm giving it a 2.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I'll do the same for Advance 2 as well.
I will as well. I believe they're both kind of mid-tier Final Fantasies. Some good things about them, some not so good things about them. Revenant Wings.
We were a lot more positive on it when we played it, and I do have fond memories of playing it, but I also have very brutal memories and memories of me ripping the game off to win.
I don't know if it's a good enough or a big enough game for me to count it as a mid-tier Final Fantasy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't really do much for the story of 12. Like,
No.
it doesn't advance it. It doesn't give us...
It has that really gross cutscene.
Yeah, and the disgusting dancing cutscene where,
That's
like...
what I'm talking about.
I was just like, God, what the fuck am I watching right now? Like, this is disgusting. Jeez, she's gyrating and just...
Yeah, it seems a little gross.
Ugh, God. But we do see Vaughn become a Sky Pirate, I guess. That's cool. I mean, we saw that in Advance 2, though. Or, sorry, A2. For those of you who gave me shit for calling it Advance 2.
What the fuck is it supposed to stand for if it's not Advance 2?
It is. They probably thought, like, oh,
But
shit,
it's really called A2.
It's not the Game Boy Advance anymore, so we'll just put A2 on there.
And
Also-
they just call it Final Fantasy Tactics DS.
Or just Final Fantasy Tactics Grimoire of the Rift. You don't have to put A2.
That's true.
We'll know it's a sequel because it fucking says Tactics on it.
Yeah. I think Revenant Wings is more of a mobile game than it is a mid-tier Final Fantasy.
I would give it a
think
1.
Fans can
Yeah.
skip it. I'm going to give it a 1.
I think it's unnecessary. I had Jake play it. He hated it. So, like, no one really likes this game that much. I had fun while I was playing it for the first little while.
Yeah, when
And
it was
then-
easy.
Yeah, and then it got real fuck faced, and it's
Yeah.
not like a game where like you can just grind your way out. Like you can grind a little bit, but you know what? I ground and I did everything in the game, and then I tried to go.
I pounded.
I tried to go beat the game again, and I could not beat it. On that, there's
You had to be in the zone.
There's a sweet spot that you have to beat the game like within level 35 and like 46, or you're not gonna fucking beat that game.
I forgot about that stupid shit.
Yeah.
Ooh, no, yeah. I'm okay
It's
with
evil.
it being a 1.
It's evil. Vagrant Story, I'm going to give a 3. I think it's fantastic.
I would give it a 2.5 if I could.
The story isn't well told, but I think it's interesting, and the gameplay is like
Gameplay's really good.
amazing. It's like some of the best gameplay
Okay.
in the series.
I'm giving Vagrant Story a 3 as well. Okay. We are not the same on this one, right?
No.
Okay. You can just add them up and tell me what they are, and I'll put it to the side. Okay.
Mine's an average of 2.
Don't tell them. Shh.
Yours, I don't know. You have 13.
13. Okay. 13 divided. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay, Final Fantasy 12. Then we got Fabula. Nova Crystallis. Okay, so that's FF13. 13-2. 13-3, aka Lightning Returns. Type 0. Are there any others?
No,
that's it. Okay. FF13, I would... It's close. It's like a 2.5 again for me. I think... I don't know if it's quite top tier Final Fantasy. I think it's mid tier Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I was planning on giving it a 2.
Okay, you're gonna give it a 2.
I was honestly planning on just doing 2 for the whole column, but
The whole column.
13, 13-2 is pretty good. And I do like the story more.
13-2 is a tough one.
I'll give that one a 3.
You'll give that one a 3.
I think that's what... I mean, they couldn't have been what 13 was, or it would have been bullshit, but I do like it more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 13-2. Fuck. I mean, there's some really good stuff in there. I'm going to give it a 2. I don't think it's quite top tier. I wouldn't keep it in the same column as I would in FF7 or even a Vagrant Story. I don't think I would keep that in the same column.
Yeah, that's fair.
Of quality of games. I think it's a really good game, but I do think it's I think it's in the mid-tier group. Even if it's on the upper end of that mid-tier group, I think it's still mid-tier. I'd say the same thing for Lightning Returns.
Yeah, I'll give Lightning Returns a 2. I think it has some of the most fun gameplay in the whole series. Like that and Vagrant Story and 13. They're all the 13.2. They're all really fun to
If
play.
only they could have this gameplay in a game with a good story.
Yeah, like then it would be one of the best. It might be the best Final Fantasy if they had like.
It might actually be the best Final Fantasy. I agree.
Because Lightning Returns, like, it was super fucking fun. Once you like started doing the quests and you like started killing stuff, like it was really fast. It's
awesome.
insanely quick. Like you got a lot of customization, and it's only one character. You're only playing with one person, so you get your move set down, you stagger the enemy, and you destroy him. Like it's
an awesome system.
Yeah, and I had a lot of fun, and I've thought about playing that one again more than most of the games in the series, just because of how fun it was to play.
13.2 is pretty great. I think on the same level. I think 13.2 has an amazing gameplay thing as well. It just improved on what 13 did.
Yeah, that's all they do.
13's a great fucking gameplay.
Yeah, when I got to 13, I was like, man, I forgot how fun this was, you know. And then we did the others, and I was like, wow, that's even better. And then Lightning Returns is like, wow, I think that's even better than last time, and if that's possible.
I'll be honest, I'm gonna give Type 0 a 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a barely a 1. I do think it's lower level. I do think it's lower tier. Type 0 to me is just gameplay is too small, limiting, and the story I think is just the storytelling sucks. So
Well,
I'm gonna give it a 1 on that one. It's barely a 1. It's upper tier of the ones, but
I think Tabata is a solid 2 as a man, so I'll give him a 2.
You'll give him a 2.
I'll
give Tabata a 2 out of 10.
He makes fun games. I thought Type 0 was fun to play. I had a lot of fun playing with Ace. I think it was a cool idea. I just think the execution wasn't necessarily the best. The story is not great, of course, and yeah, but I thought the gameplay was fun enough, and I don't think it's terrible. I think it's about on the same level as Crisis Core, to be honest.
All right, and then is it our last series? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Oh yeah, okay. Ff7 verse. How come they don't have a name for this series? Like, you would think that they're like, oh, we have a series coming out. We better put a fancy name on it, like Fabula Nova Crystal.
I don't know. Yeah,
You don't know?
maybe they want to distance themselves from that completely.
Ff15. Then we had Kingsglaive. Help me out with the other ones, man.
Monster of the Deep.
Monster of the Deep.
We had
King's-
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood. That's right. King's Knight.
We never played that, though.
Or not King's Knight.
Oh, King's Tale.
King's Tale. Thank you. Did
beat
the
'em
demo with the dream, was that canon?
I think so. I think we could count the demo. I think that's fair. It was a weird demo. It was like him as a kid.
Yeah, the one
That's
with
like
him
the
as a
most you
kid.
get from Carbuncle, unless you play on easy. But
I'm going to not count it. I can't fucking... It was like 20 seconds long.
it was pretty short. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't want to, that's fine.
I really don't want to.
It is technically a demo to the game. We didn't count like the FF12 demo or the FF13
we didn't.
demo.
We didn't. You're right. Okay. So out of these 5 pieces of media, fucking 5 within a year, 15, I think it's top tier Final Fantasy. I do. I'm gonna give it a 3.
I don't, but in the confines of our ranking, yeah, I'd give it a 3
Okay, you
too.
give it a 3. Okay.
It's better than Lightning Returns.
When I say top tier, I'm not saying it's the best of the top tier, but this is what I'm thinking about this ranking, right? Like a 3 is everybody should play it. A 2 is Final Fantasy fans should play this. A 1 is, even if you're a Final Fantasy fan, go ahead and skip this one. That's what it is to me. I think everybody should play 15.
All right.
Kingsglaive, I think that's a 1 for me.
Yeah, Kingslave's a 1.
It's a piece of shit.
I
Sorry.
know there are a lot of people that love it, but I'm sorry you don't know what a good movie is. I really wish you did.
I wish the people at Square Enix knew what a good movie was. Monster of the Deep, I'm giving a 1 as well. It was kind of fun, but it was also kind of really shitty at the same time.
I had fun with it, but yeah, it was not well developed. The controls, like, it was hard to cast. Like, it was hard. And we didn't have the light ball, which I guess makes it easier, but Jesus Christ, you should make it required to buy the light ball. You should, like, the game cannot work unless you buy the light ball.
Did we send that guy his VR headset?
No, we haven't yet. He wants us to play VR games. That's why we haven't.
What VR game are we going to play?
I don't fucking know, man. I got Resident Evil 7, but I kind of want to play that, not VR.
All right. Brotherhood. I think it's pretty good. I didn't have any problems with Brotherhood.
This one's tough because I don't know if it's... I mean, I guess maybe it's top tier. I'm teetering between 2 and 3 with it because it was pretty solid. I didn't have any real issues.
I think it's the best video thing ever to come out of any of the Final Fantasies.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3
You'll give
because
it a
of that.
3?
I think that's fair.
And a King's Tale, which I'm teetering between a 1 and a 2 on, just because it was kind of shitty, really simplistic, kind of dumb. Why does it exist? But I kind of had some fun playing it.
Yeah, I'll give it a 2.
You're gonna give it a 2.
I went back and finished all the trophies on it, and I was like, this is actually kind of fun. I enjoy the depth of the combat. I mean, it's not super deep, but there's enough. I thought it was a fun little, 5-hour excursion to dominate that game.
All right.
I dug it.
Let's see. Okay. So oh wow, Schweiss, your averages are ridiculous. Okay, so I've got all of our numbers here, and I'm gonna read them out. So with the Ff7 verse, we both averaged a 2. Okay, the Ff7 universe as a whole is a mid-tier series.
All right, that's fair.
Ff5 as a whole, with its 2 titles, is a 2.5 for me and a 2 for you. Ff7 as a whole, in the universe of Ff7, is a 1.75. Ff10 as a whole for me is a 1.75, for you is a 2. Again, Schweiss, I don't know if you're noticing, that's 3 2s from you. Ivelisse Alliance, I have a 2.16, you have a 2. Again. Fabula Nova Crystallis, I have a 1.75, and you have a 2.25. And then Final Fantasy 15 verse, I give it a 1.8, and you give it a 2. So, Schweiss, you're going to actually have to think about your rankings, because most of yours are 2s.
Well,
I don't know how it ended up that way.
The clear winner is Final Fantasy V verse at 2.5.
The least flawed,
which is ridiculous.
Series. It's up to you, man. I mean, you don't have to rank it because of the numbering system. I just thought it'd be fun to kind of revisit all the games that way.
So, within the confines of your ranking, and I think if we would have done it out of 10, we would have seen a much different
there'd be some
scenario. I'm going to say I think my actual favorite, is probably Ivelisse Alliance.
Okay.
I like the tactics games. I like their style. Those are fun. I think FF12 was great. I thought Vagrant Story was awesome as far as like the gameplay is concerned. Way ahead of its time. I think that one's really great. And then honestly, I might actually put Fabula Novala Crystallis as number 2 as far as like thinking about the main big chunks of games. Even though I do think Toriyama is a terrible director, I think they make very fun games to play. And that, honestly, if I'm going to go back and like power through a Final Fantasy, I'm mostly going to play the game. If I'm going to go back and like see how fast I can beat the Lightning series, I'm not going to be watching the cutscenes. I'm not going to be partaking of the subpar storytelling and the over bogged down cutscenes that take 30 years of your fucking life away. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to play the game. And as far as like how fun they are, those are pretty up there. Unfortunately, 7 is bogged down by some very bad things, because that's a great game, obviously. And then, of course, 15 is good. I mean, they're all good. That's the hard part about looking at them. And I honestly do think After Years is a very underrated game. I think it's pretty solid.
So I've got you down for Ivelisse as number 1, Fabula as number 2.
Yeah.
And then what do you have?
Oh, as far as like my real rankings for
let me go to. So on my numbers, this is what I would give it based upon my averages for all the games in each series. At FF5 as the top tier. Quintessential series, in series, the least flawed. The least flawed. Definitely not putting it in my rankings as number 1. But it is, in my number system of subjectivity, the objectively least flawed series. Has the least negative things pulling the scores down. Ivelisse Alliance is next. Final Fantasy IV's universe is after that. Final Fantasy 15's universe is after that. And then tied for bottom is Fabula Nova Crystallis, the Final Fantasy X verse, and the Ff7 verse.
So 2 of your favorite Final Fantasies universes are at the bottom of your list.
Yes.
Isn't that kind of sad how far 10-2 can pull something down? Because I think it's fun. I do actually think it's a fun game to play, but the problem is every one of the 13 games is more fun to play than Final Fantasy X-2.
I agree.
Ever would be. Now, the Sphere Break game is really fun, but you can't just play that. You got to play the whole goddamn game. You got to get to that.
I also feel like the retconning that happened after FF7, I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the whole 10-2 story either, necessarily. But I think that's... I don't know, it's almost less of an issue because you can see, I can understand Yuna having a change, becoming someone else because she thought she was going to die the entire time she was playing, or she was in 10, And then now she's just wow, I can do whatever I want. So she goes and does this crazy thing because she's never done anything like that before. That is more believable than, I don't know, than some of the shit I had with 7. So I guess that's fair. So are you going to do which ones you actually think are best now?
Yeah, looking at my scores, kind of. They're close in some ways.
Yeah, but it's the bullshitness of the 1, 2, and 3 system is what fucked the reality of it. But I do kind of feel more comfortable doing that than actually sitting down and giving them an out of 10 ranking.
Right.
There are going to be some low motherfuckers and some people that are not going to be very happy about that. Oh, really? Yeah, really, motherfucker. I don't think it's good game. I don't think it's a good game, but not a good Final Fantasy. I think it's just a bad fucking game because I'm a normal person. And I play games, man. I don't just play Final Fantasy.
All right. I've got, I'm writing down mine right now. Shit. See, now I'm
it gets tough.
It does start to get tough because you're weighing classic, big, huge games against little shit games that kind of pull it down. Oh, fuck. Yes. All right.
I'll put 4 next on mine, I think.
Okay. All right, so I kind of got mine.
I'll do 4.
You can write them down if you want.
Okay.
I could just read over your shoulder there. Not actually over your shoulder, across the table. So my bottom tier ones that I'm kind of going back and forth on are FF5 and FF10's universes as a whole. FF5, of course, had the actual highest average, but, FF5 doesn't mean as much to me as it does FF10, the game itself, just the singular main series Final Fantasy game. So I'm going to put FF5's universe on the bottom, just honestly because FF10 is just it's too much of a juggernaut to have it down there. And there's also not as many titles in the FF5 verse, and I feel like because of that, it doesn't have as much weight as a whole by itself as a thing, right? Now, FF15, or FF10 would be above that. FF15's universe would be above that. FF10 had too many. It had this amazing first game. I know some people disagree, but not too many people disagree. Amazing first game, and then just the shittiest of shitty turns that shit took. As a series of FF10 games, sorry FF10, you're going to be in number 6 spot for the best series in this series, the best microverse in the Final Fantasy universes. The next one would be FF15. If it had another great title in there, then I would probably rank it a little higher. But most of its weight comes from the actual FF15 itself, and then the other stuff around it is so minuscule and small. And even if they are lower or higher scored or whatever, I gotta kind of keep it kind of near the bottom. So I would put it in 5th place. My 4th place would be the FF7 universe. FF7 is one of the best games of all time. Definitely one of the best games I've ever played. And Avid Children's not too bad of a sequel. Avid Children completes a piece of shit. And I like Crisis Core 2. And those are weightier pieces of media in the series itself, and like people around Final Fantasy know about those pieces of media. So I think they have a little bit more weight, and even though they're not top tier in that respect, I think the universe itself. I like the world too. Like I understand the world of FF7 as well. That's another thing that kind of keeps it a little higher. So it's right in the middle there. It's in 4th place, 4 out of 7. Fabula Nova Crystallis has the best gameplay. As a series, has the best solid gameplay going around. I think you're totally right. Fabula Nova Crystallis, even though none of those games have great stories, some better than others, but the gameplay is so goddamn good. It's got to be in the top 3. Fabula Nova Crystallis, perhaps the most hated titles in the series, oddly enough.
Yeah.
For us, I guess. The most fan backlash. But I think the gameplay is so fucking good. And as an average, it's in there. And 13's a weighty enough title, and 13-2 is a weighty enough title, kind of bring it above the other ones. FF4 is next. I think After Years is fantastic. I think FF4 is fantastic. They're both top tier Final Fantasy games. Two of the 3 things are I don't know, they're great. So I'm putting FF4 as the 2nd place one, and Schweiss, even though I don't like tactics as much as other people, just a lot of great games, and it's more than just 2. A lot of great games in Ivelisse Alliance.
Yeah, I had to look at my list again, and I'm going to actually put FF5, the one that I had as the highest ranking, probably in the bottom.
Oh, yeah, you too. Okay.
It's a fantastic game, but yeah, the movie is pretty forgettable. It's not really necessary. It's not bad, which is why it was, the best universe in the thing, because it doesn't have any bad titles in it. But it's got a really great game and then an okay movie attached to it. So that one's going to be the bottom. I'm actually going to put FF7's universe above that, which is really painful, but when I'm looking at the rest of these, there's not a level of like betrayal and a level of just the Turks, the kids are all right thing. I hated that by the end. I fucking hated reading that thing.
I agree.
I thought it was abysmal.
A chore.
I think Final Fantasy VII Advent Children Complete is a piece of garbage movie. It's overlong, it's boring, and it takes the fast-paced action of the one and it treats it like it's a Godfather movie, and it's fucking not. It's terrible. It takes forever. Cloud, you betrayed me. It's painful. It's painful to watch. Dirge of Cerberus is painful to play. Crisis Core is okay. Not the best story and really fucking lame endgame stuff, so that's not very fun. Last Order's not canon, and On the Way to a Smile is actually all right. So it should be a lot higher.
It's got really low lows.
It has really low lows, yeah, and they try to do too much, and they just won't fucking leave it alone. And every time they mess, it's like when when you make a copy of something with a copying machine, the first copy looks all right, and then like the more and more copies you make, the shittier the image becomes because it just gets a little bit off every single time. That's like what Ff7's Universe has become. It just gets shittier and shittier, and it's unfortunate because it's a lot of fun, but it's almost like I said earlier, it's almost like the Solo thing. It's like there's some stories that you should just leave alone, and they can't do that with 7 because it's such a big game. They want to like put out, let's put this out because it's Final Fantasy 7 has FF7 on it, and it should sell really, really well, and then it does well, so they just keep doing it. And they just keep putting more subpar shit out. And I mean, Dirge as a rail shooter,
and we're gonna get a remake of it, right?
Dirge as a rail shooter would probably be fine. It's the fact that they released it.
If it was in an arcade thing, yeah.
But they released it as a fucking console game, and so you treat it differently. You have a higher expectation. It's like Type 0 being ported to PS4. It's like you can tell it was a PSP game, and that's not necessarily a good thing. Right. There's some things that should just be left, and it's unfortunate. But 7's Universe, there's a lot of garbage in there. A lot of stuff you don't need to fucking do. Then I have 15s. This is where they all start to become pretty good.
Okay.
15, I enjoyed my time in. My 100 hours of Final Fantasy 15 were enjoyable.
Nice.
For the most part. Obviously, it's not a perfect game in my eyes, but it's great. I had fun with the little beat-em-up side-scroller thing. I do think Kingslave is a fucking horrible movie with... The only fun you can have with it, in my opinion, is really laughing at how everyone just fucking guilt trips the guy for taking pain pills. Yeah, he's like, "What are you, some druggie?" He's like, "I'm taking the prescribed dose." And then of course he gets out the pain pills, starts a revolution because he's so.
Well,
pissed
we
'cause he's
missed
in so
all
much
those
pain.
scenes where he was like, it was like 6 months later, and he was doctor shopping because he was on the pain pills for too long.
Yeah. I want a sequel where it's just him and he's like his downward spiral after he leaves Insomnia. But
And then eventually, what was the thing on Twitter? Someone tweeted me because I made the controversial statement of, hey, let's. I think it's a good idea not to do heroin or something like that. And someone was like, well, people get prescribed and then they find out heroin is cheaper and then they go do heroin and it starts the cycle there. I had heard for like 20 years now that like pain pills are not okay. You don't fuck with them and you take them for the prescribed amount of time and then that's it. And also they have no effect on chronic pain, so don't take them for that. And even though like some older doctors will prescribe it for that. I've known this for forever. I didn't realize that like people get into it that way. So I'm wondering if like the next step will be him, getting heroin addiction.
You just like find them in bathrooms.
Even though he did die at the end, right?
No, he didn't die.
Oh no, that was Nyx.
Yeah, the main guy died. There are two characters that are more enjoyable. It's the redneck like fucking grassroots cop guy, and then it's the fat guy with the pain pill addiction. Both of those characters are more enjoyable than the main guy, although they aren't as like 3-dimensional. They're pretty 2D, like they are what they are. But
hero,
yeah, he just has the fucking machine guns. I was like, wow, that is awesome.
I will say, Kingslave is pretty. It's pretty to look.
It looks great.
It's
yeah, it's a phenomenal.
That's it.
It's a phenomenal breakthrough in that kind of movie. But yeah, it's really boring, and it ruins one of the awesome parts of Final Fantasy 15 with the death of the king. It's hopefully we didn't spoil that.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
But it's.
I think if you're a Final Fantasy fan and you didn't play 15 by now, fuck it. It's open season.
Yeah.
We're
It's
done.
been a long time.
Yeah.
But it's not the best, but it's getting better. And then I have FF10. I do think 10-2 is a fun game. Last Mission I thought was a fun game too. I enjoyed it. It's a fun as hell concept, to be honest. It's like a cool little mini game that they threw in, and I enjoyed it. I thought I had a lot going for it. And especially for just a little throwaway, like, oh, here's a little add-on, we made this like dungeon crawler thing, and I was like, it's actually pretty fun. it got annoying when the enemies got so strong that I literally had to cast death on them, or I couldn't kill them to get them out of my fucking way near the end. And the traps were infuriating. So you're like, oh, there's the exit. And you drop down, you're like, fuck!
16 floors.
Yeah. How did you even survive? That was frustrating. And then, because, dude, there was one time where I fell through a trap, and then I took a step, and I fell through the next trap, and I was like, what the fuck, man? This game's like, oh, you want to advance, huh? You want to beat the game?
Similar happened to me.
Not today. And I was like, and they get really complex, too, like the way you get out of these floors, and you're just like, I don't want to do it. So it's definitely got its problems, but fun little universe. Enjoyable. Book kind of sucks so far, but whatever. And then I have FF4. I, of course, I'll include Lightning Returns in there as the only one that counts in the same universe because of what happens. I feel like it's going to be separated.
Lightning Returns is the only one that counts.
Yeah, the others don't really count.
Yeah, because FF13 2 retconned 13, right? It got rid of everything that happened in 13.
It got rid of some stuff, yeah.
And then then Lightning Returns, let's
Just
move
ignores.
everybody's souls over.
Yeah. Weird.
It's fucking
Bizarre.
what the fuck?
It's very bizarre.
But one of us was they were just reincarnated. So one of us could be Lightning, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoa.
Awesome. So I've got that as the next one. And then, of course, Fabula Novella Crystallis. Like I said, some of the worst storytelling in the series. Just too much story. I think they just try to do too much with it, and it's frustratingly over the top.
It's too much lore and not enough characters.
Yeah, and lore is... You can do lore. You just have to do it very specifically.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
lore has to be handled well. I hate fantasy in general just because lore is unless you're one of the good authors, lore is never handled well.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones handle lore perfectly, but not much else really does.
Well, part of me thinks that Tolkien handles it really well because he wasn't only reading fairy tale shit. He was an English professor and old.
Yeah, he's a linguist and all that.
Old mythology and all that other shit, and he was telling it in that way. So that was pretty unique.
He created his entire language and all of this shit for it. Yeah, so it was deep.
He was creating something new, but I feel like the people that take from Robert Jordan too. He made other types of. He wrote other types of shit before he wrote Wheel of Time. George R. R. Martin's a big literature guy too, so I feel like it might be just people who only read fantasy.
If you're into history,
try to
and you're into other books, then you can be a good fantasy
writer. Then you could possibly be a good fantasy writer. There's a chance. You'll be better than one of the people that just only read fantasies and then self-publish a fantasy novel that it's unreadable because it's 12 different prologues. Right? It's got an avid children complete problem.
Yeah.
God damn it. I hate opening up a fantasy book, a cheap $5 paperback, opening it up and 16 made up words right at the first page. And I'm like, fuck this. So I throw that away.
Yeah, it's not well done, and that's kind of where I'm at with
13.
Yeah, with the 13 verse, but it's really fucking fun to play, and these are video games, so we have to consider how fun they are with our rankings. I know Final Fantasy is mostly known for its story and all of that shit, and the graphical quality of the games, but I like to bring in gameplay as well, especially when gameplay is really the one thing that's driving you to come back. It's not that I want to know what's going to happen in the story next. It's that I want to see what kind of brutal boss is going to come up next and want to watch my Crystarium get capped so I can't fucking grind my way out of a corner. I have to actually become better at the game and have different strategies to survive. I think that's fun, and I think that's applaudable with 13 especially. When they did that shit, because there are some fights that are fucking hard in that game, and I died multiple times on some of the fights because it's just fucking brutal, and you have to figure out the right the right timing and like when you need to really lay down the law and like the best times to stagger and like watching their moves. You have to know a lot about the game and how the game plays to get past it, and that's something that a lot of the games in the series don't have. They don't have that. You can just, it's always just like, well, that was a hard boss, but I'm going to go grind for 2 hours and then I'm going to come back and just fucking destroy him,
Yeah.
It makes it more impactful.
I know what you're saying.
In a lot of ways. Unfortunately, it's not impactful story-wise as much as it could be, which sucks, because if they had a mix, it would be like amazing.
I think even 13 could be retold in a better way.
Yeah, probably. I mean, shit, man. When we did the review for that game, like we had to stop it, and I was like, I don't remember what happened. Like I was getting so fucking pissed. I was like, fuck, dude, this game is just, I fucking don't know. I don't know who's who, what happened, when. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're better at it now. We just make the things shorter, and also like Type 0 is like, fuck it doesn't make any sense. Just keep going.
Yeah. So it's and then Type 0 is not great. It kind of follows the same thing, fun-ish gameplay, some cool shit in there. I really liked the world map coming back. I thought that was like really exciting and exhilarating. Unfortunately, it wasn't a very interesting world map necessarily, and like the only exploring I did was to go grab the airship, and there wasn't a whole lot of optional stuff that I dug into. So, and it's because I didn't really want to. But
a series as a whole, you're saying it's second best.
Second best. And then, of course, Ivelisse Alliance is the best sub-series in the main Final Fantasy games. 12 is great.
Ito is king.
Ito's a beast. I like Tactics a lot. I like 12 a lot. I think the Tactics spin-off games improved on the gameplay in a lot of ways, and definitely...
Me, the two winners are Vagrant Story and Tactics. Vagrant Story in 12.
Yeah, and Vagrant Story is a really fun game to play. It's very difficult at times, but there's a lot of fun exploring to do. I actually found myself like, I wanted to explore every area of the map because I wanted to, personally and honestly, to find fucking weapons that I wouldn't get destroyed as I used. And like the crafting, there's a lot there. There's a lot there that I didn't even touch on. As far as like getting deep into the crafting, I made one weapon in the end, and I fucking used that on everybody. And it's for some reason, I guess I had the right materials, and that weapon was just a god weapon because be it beast, man, dragon, I don't fucking care, man. I'm praying out that two-handed club and I'm swinging that motherfucker and just destroying. But great concept, excellent gameplay. It's kind of like
It's an asshole though, trying to get into it, figuring it out.
Yeah. Oh, it's a learning curve and a half. It's a lot, but I think the story could be better told, I guess. But a lot of that might have been just me dying over and over and over and over again, so I don't remember parts of it. Iconic bosses. It was good.
Okay. Well, we got our rankings there, Schweiss, for the mini-verses of Final Fantasy. Both of us put Ivelisse on the top, and then all the way downhill from there.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. So mine was Ivelisse, FF4, Fabula, FF7, 15, 10, and then 5. And yours was Ivelisse, Fabula, FF4, FF10, 15, 7, and then 5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Schweiss, we did actually talk a long time about this, so we're out of time on our episode.
All right.
Gonna save questions, except for one real quick. Shinro, who also gave us our news today, so thank you. Shinru asked us, are we gonna do Final Fantasy Unlimited?
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I don't know
before I move. Which
I don't know
the
why.
UFF audience doesn't know about, by the way. I'm moving.
Yeah.
So we won't be doing this in person after I move. Which was supposed to be in September, but someone had to make some plans.
It'll still be in September. It could be the very end.
It could be.
Just leave on the 23rd.
Timo, do you mind if we leave on the 23rd of September? But anyway, that's kind of
I'll invite him too. Fuck it. Barely know him.
Fuck it. Fight him.
Yeah. Get your chainmail on.
Get your chainmail. Go to my wedding.
Yeah. Full helm, full plate mail. Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, we'll do it sometime.
Yeah, we'll get to it. We're gonna watch them before we finish the show, no matter what. I mean, the commentary part.
Before we finish the weekly show.
I don't know about that, but before we no longer update the podcast until a new Final Fantasy comes out, we won't. We will.
Aren't we halfway through it?
What? The whole thing?
The whole thing.
I don't know.
Oh fuck! I have no idea. What episode are we on, Schweiss?
What number of episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, it's hundreds.
No, for unlimited.
Oh, not hundreds.
No, there's only like 24 episodes. Somehow we've stretched this over 3 years.
Yeah.
I want to say we stretched it, but we haven't even touched it in
I feel like we were like
over a year.
I feel like we were in double digits. We were like 10 or 11 or something like that.
Oh my god, my podcast addict app is
Shit, dude, we might need to rewatch it.
No, we don't. We definitely don't. There's not much there, Schweiss. It gives you the previously ons. We said the same thing last time, and then we started the thing up, and we were like, oh yeah, I remember where we were at.
I remember a sweet song in that factory.
I do too. That was terrible.
Yeah.
Hold on. Unlimit. Oh, I have to actually put in the word unlimited.
I feel like we were in the double digits at the very least. I think there were 26 episodes.
1 year ago, Schweiss, Final Fantasy Unlimited, episode 12.
Okay.
That was the last one we did.
Almost
we're
halfway.
on 13.
I think. There's either 24 or 26.
Oh god, I hope it's 24. And that extra 40 minutes is really going to kill me.
Yeah. It's going to make you want to kill you.
Final Fantasy Unlimited. Wonder if they'll put the in the search. Final Fantasy Unlimited. Okay. Can look on Wikipedia here. 25
right
episodes
in the center
twice.
way.
So we're not quite halfway.
Yeah.
We'll be halfway when we watch the episode for the first time
in a year.
Yeah, right before we do the commentary.
I think we did one last time too. Like it was a big gap, and then we were like, "Let's do these again," and then we just didn't. Because I was like, we have a little space on the Libsyn. Let's just knock this out. We'll have a nice review at the end. You know, it'll be a good episode. We'll do Unlimited, and then it's just no. We just don't. We just never do it.
Oh, we've got to do it somehow.
I know.
Fuck.
We could just burn through them one of these days.
Instead of Crystal Chronicles.
Maybe when we get to a single player Crystal Chronicles. I don't know which one that's going to be, but
or how about we just have Final Fantasy Unlimited week where we don't even do an episode, we just do like 4 Final Fantasy Unlimited commentaries.
We could. I guess we could do that.
Yeah.
Just give them that. They'll hate it, but
they'll hate it so much.
But fuck it.
No, actually, I have an idea. Next time they do a mobile review, the Muff team.
Yeah.
So we should have done this last week, is what I'm saying. We take our time that we usually do podcasting, and instead of taking it off, we do a couple episodes of Unlimited.
So we just have like a 3-4 episode week, counting the Unlimited.
I mean, we could spread it out more than that, or not. Yeah.
That's fair. I think we should do that.
Yeah.
Not today, though. But
guys, feel free to get that Dimensions 4 in, or whatever we're on.
Yeah, and then
we'll have more Unlimited. There you go.
Yeah, that's a good time because it is kind of like a time crunch. We only have like a certain amount of time that we can do it. So
yeah,
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
let's do it. We'll finish it. We'll finish it before Joe leaves. How about that?
All right. Well, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Check out ultimafinalfantasy.com and join our forums. Ask us questions there, and we do answer those questions on the show. If you want to ask us a question via our phone line or give us an intro like we had on this episode, the number is 385-204-3921. We do have 2 new iTunes reviews, one from Canada and one from the US, and so we'll get to that next week. There's some other places you can go as well. Twitch.tv/Ultimate Final Fantasy. You can see us streaming the episodes live every Sunday, or most Sundays at least.
Yeah. And tomorrow, when you guys get this episode, we're going to be doing some Crystal Chronicles. I don't work until 6 p.m., so let's ruin my life and start playing at 9 a.m.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's see, what else? Facebook.com/Ultimate Final Fantasy. Twitter, you can tweet me at JosephDeGollier.
Me at UFF Podcast, or the show if you're only 200 episodes in.
Yeah, and if you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon page. Thank you so much to our Patreon donors. And if you want to click through the Amazon link on the site, we really appreciate that as well. And there's straight up PayPal link if you wanna help us out that way. Or you could just enjoy this free content.
Yeah.
That's fine too. Anyways, guys,
we don't need to eat.
Yeah, I know. We're starving, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah,
We're dying over here.
Yeah, I see you.
I'm spilling over with
12 things of Kit Kats that you went through in a minute.
I'm fucking dying here. But it's okay. Just listen.
Just withering away.
My famined body is just spilling over. You know?
I can see. Yeah, it's spilling over your belt.
Yeah,
Nice there. Oh man. Okay. That's gonna be. Oh, thank you guys for supporting my movie on Indiegogo. We were able to raise $4,000. We wanted to raise 7. We got to 4, which pretty much where I thought we would end up. But I really appreciate it. Anyway, thank you guys. 4 is enough. We are still going to continue to make the movie with it. So
yeah. So look forward to that.
Thank you so much. It's just that I'm gonna have to spend a couple grand of my own money to also make it. So that kind of sucks. But either way, those who gave really appreciate it. We couldn't have done it without you, frankly. So that's gonna be going in full force. We're gonna start shooting. What was it? August 20th, the day after the Slayer concert I'm going to. So that's going to be a real...
Did you already buy your ticket?
Interesting morning. No, I am about to. So
Fuck. All right.
you're going to go?
Yeah.
It's Slayer's last tour, man.
I know, but... I'll
But
go.
what?
I'll go.
You'll go.
Yeah, I'll go.
Good. All right. I've never seen Slayer, so...
Really?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, you haven't. Yeah.
That's why I need to see them, because it's their last tour, apparently. They'll come back in 20 years when they need the money. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
when they're like 80.
When he has no voice anymore.
Angel of Death!
From the lacerate on and on south of heaven.
Yeah. It'll be more meaningful because it'll
On
be
and
closer.
on south of heaven.
It'll be good. It'll be a
That'll
good
be
reunion. Yeah.
Okay, all right. We're going to end it here.
All right, guys. Till next week. Enjoy the grind.